Yes, you are. You are tuned into the Andrew Gosser Show right here on 103.9. Good morning, Brother Shane. Great to see you. Look, if you want to be part of the show today, the number is 601-879-0002. If you want to be texting in, we appreciate that. We've got lots of stories to get to. The number is 601-879-5060. Today is Tuesday, the 28th of October, 2025. We're moving and grooving. And we are streaming on Rumble, and we are streaming on X, and we are streaming on YouTube, and we are streaming at WYAB.com, the mothership. We appreciate everybody who's tuning in to our beefed up airwaves. But if you can't get a signal for whatever reason, feel free to tune into the stream. We appreciate it. The mission here at the Andrew Gosser Show is standard. We are here to equip the saints with everything you need to go out into this world and talk to some liberals and try to talk some sense into them. It could happen. You never know. Gentle answer turns away wrath, but a harsh word incites anger. And it was awesome talking to Clay this morning. Look, he gives his FAFO Grand Championships. He passes them out, and you might see him on TikTok or on Twitter, X. But when you see him actually do the stick in person, dude, I was like a little kid sitting across from me, sitting there. Yeah, and I'm just, oh my goodness gracious, it was funny. We've got all sorts of craziness to talk about. I want to talk about gun safety in the second hour. I feel while there are many people out there with much more intricate, detailed shooting and looting skills and tactics, I feel I am qualified to speak on this a little bit, and I do want to talk about it. President Trump continues to be the ultimate troll, whether it's with Xbox and PlayStation 5 or whether it's him dancing in Eastern Europe or Eastern Asia. It's pretty amazing. Tomorrow, big day, everybody. Turning Point coming to Ole Miss. And it's going to be great. I have been in contact with Turning Point USA. Jacob and I text almost every day. He's just so busy up there making sure all the details and stuff are right. He does have the show number. If he calls in, that's great. If not, I hope all of y'all are going up there. I actually went out and bought a suit. I thought I'd never have to wear another suit again in my life. And honestly, I was okay with it. I had come to peace with it. I enjoyed wearing a suit. I enjoyed doing that type of work. It just became part of my character and being. But once I decided to become a farmer, I'm like, put all that away. Threw away a lot of suits. The one suit that I kept just isn't rocking it anymore. And I've got to look good because the Sweet Bee is going to be hot. And I need to look good. So went suit shopping yesterday. Things we're going to talk about: Alberta breaking away from Canada. And you'll understand why I'm talking about that in a minute. I found a new place to find news. It's called semaphore.com. And we're going to talk about that. Zorhan Mandami. Is it the curse to the Republicans? Or is it a curse to the Democrats? I'll tell you, in the short term, Zorhan has got it going on. I have not seen him. I haven't seen a politician with that much swag in a long time. Discounting President Trump, of course, he in a different level. But where I need to start And oh, by the way, I am on X. You can just follow me at Andrew Gosser, AndrewGasser. And I'd appreciate that. I'm just sitting here thinking about Clay. All gasser, no brakes. Got it. Um, Jackson Jambalaya this morning, they broke the news on the res shooter being held, being caught, and also has that video on there, which Clay and I talked about, backing up and pulling a gun on somebody. Just silly. But where we have to start is NBC News, ladies and gentlemen. NBC News is coming out of the box swinging. And I knew this was going to happen. I absolutely knew it. I knew it because of just how the whole political sphere is manipulating. And even the very best political analysts out there will tell you that there's always a sense of balance. You can push the bubble to the left or to the right for a while, but it's always going to come back. And this, if you want to know who shut down this is, just listen to this headline from NBC News, which you probably did not hear about because it was buried. Largest federal workers union calls for an end to the shutdown, putting pressure on Democrats. In a statement first shared with NBC News, the American Federation of Government Employees president calls on Congress to pass a clean continuing resolution. Now, that's very important, ladies and gentlemen. A clean CR. No 20 billion for this, or 100 million for that, or 1.5 trillion for this. Clean. You know, this is like one of the world's biggest games of chicken ever. It's out there, and they are going after it. And when you see the unions start rolling up on this like this, it's serious. And I have no love lost for unions. I don't have like a hatred for them, but I do not like what has happened in Illinois and other places with unions. I do think that back in the 1910s and 20s, unions were necessary. You had kids working 18 hours a day, kids. And I'm not saying that we don't want our kids working 8 or 10 hours a day, but 18, that's a little bit much. You had people losing limbs in food factories, and it just getting ground up, and somebody ate that hand down the hatch. It is what it is. So the union has come out, and some of these pull quotes are just really damning to the Democrats. Both political parties have made their point, and there's still no clear end in sight. American Federation of Government Employees President Everett Kelly wrote in a statement first shared with NBC News, "It's time to pass a clean continuing resolution and end this showdown today. No half measures, no gamesmanship." Here's the thing, and Trump is a genius, and Stephen Miller's a genius, and they've put the Democrats in such a box. I mean, as someone who enjoys the practice of politics and enjoys how everything comes together, the way that they've put the Democrats in this box is if the Democrats end the shutdown and they pass the clean CR, Trump victory, Republican victory. You know that the right will blow it up as far as news coverage, as far as social media coverage. The signal will get boosted. The Democrats caved. This in turn will disenfranchise, humiliate, not Democrats, not the middle of the roaders, not some of the texters who text me saying that they're seeing politics in a different light in the first time in a long time. That was an incredible text. I promised I wouldn't read it online, but I said I would mention it. So I am. But your identity is safe with us, anonymous texter. We appreciate it. When I'm getting anonymous texts from people who saying, "Don't talk to me real loud about this," but I want to tell you, I really like your show and I'm actually learning from it. That's great. And people like that, they're going to look at the Democrats caving and they're going to, yep, the Democrats caved. Look, there have been three Democrat senators who have voted to end the shutdown every time. Obviously, everybody knows Fetterman from Pennsylvania. I genuinely don't know the other two. I probably should, but I don't. I know that our two senators, Senator Wicker and Senator Hyde-Smith, have voted to end the shutdown every time they have, as you expect they would. This statement could increase pressure on the Democrats to budge from their stance. Some Democrats have insisted that they won't vote to reopen the government without a commitment from Republicans and President Donald J. Trump on extending the health care subsidies through the Affordable Care Act to millions and millions of illegal aliens. Okay, I added the millions and millions of legal aliens, but it's true. That's what the Democrats are voting for. When you see statements like that are in this NBC article where it's saying 40 to 42 million Americans will lose their health care and SNAP benefits. No, that's a lie. That is an out and out lie, and not CNBC, but NBC knows it. It is estimated that there are up to 20 million illegal aliens on SNAP and Obamacare and all these other food programs. So it's not really 42 million or 40 million America. It's more like 22 million or 20 million Americans. Now that's still too many. But we've got to get rid of these illegal aliens because they're taxing us. They're taxing the resources of this great nation. I argue we have the most resources anywhere out of any country. We have maximized our potential. That's the reason that we've grown so quickly as a nation, that everybody turns to the United States when they need leadership. It's one thing to run around saying you're the best, thumping your chest saying you're the best, and you're not the best. It's another thing to walk softly and carry a big stick, which is what we've done for a very long time. But every once in a while, you got to swing the stick. And that's just exactly what President Trump is doing. It is time for our leaders to start focusing on how to solve problems for the American people rather than on who's going to get the blame for the shutdown that Americans dislike. I agree. I think there are many people on the Republican side who are not trying not to blame game. They just want to get this going. There are many people in the middle of the aisle who want this. There's only one group of people who want this shutdown to continue, and that's the Democrats. Schumer said the longer it goes on, the better it is for us. Now, he's wrong with that, but he did say that, thank goodness. Kelly said, stressing there should be a resolution that allows continued debate on larger issues like growing costs and dysfunctional federal funding process in Congress. Well, amen to that. Kelly is right there. How we funded the government since about 2012 to 2014 has been an absolute abomination and complete cluster. I wasn't going to say it, but it is a cluster. It's horrible how we don't have one budget bill that just goes through. We look at it. Yep, there's a lot of work that needs to be done. Congress, that's why you get paid almost $200,000 a year, and then you've got all your stock sidekick hustles that put you over the top. Just fix it. This is the crazy thing. The AFGE, the union, represents 820,000 federal and DC government workers from across almost every agency. 820,000 federal workers just in the greater DC area. You still have federal workers all over the United States. You still have people everywhere. And I'll tell you what, those 820 people in downtown, or 820,000 people in the greater DC area, they're going to be heard. The Trump group is suing the the union is suing the Trump administration on several fronts connected to the shutdown. First, over the mass layoffs organized by Trump budget chief Russell Vought, and the second over partisan out-of-the-office email messages blaming Democrats for the shutdown that were set by the Education Department without employees' permission or foreknowledge. So the union's still going to do the union and try to carry the left's water, but it really doesn't matter at this point. The United States has looked at this, and everybody realizes that right now, if Chuck Schumer said, I've got 8 Democrats who want to vote with the Republicans to end the shutdown, Thune would have that up in front of the Senate so fast, it would be done and over with. I've never seen the shutdown get to something like this. I think it's truly generational. But again, that's why we have to change the way we budget and the way we process or fund the government, because what we're doing right now is not working, and it's causing problems. I said I wasn't sure who was voting with the Republicans, the 3 Democrats. Well, here they are. So you're either going to send them a thank you note or you're going to write them some hate mail. John Fetterman, Democrat, Pennsylvania. The only guy who can rock a hoodie into the Senate well. Unbelievable. Catherine Cortez Masto, Democrat, Nevada. And Angus King, Independent, Maine. So it's actually 2 Democrats and an independent. So that's where we're starting off the Andrew Gosser show today. The unions ain't happy with the Democrats. Imagine that. You are listening to the Andrew Gosser show on 103.9 WYAB. We will be right back.
Tuned here to 103.9 WYAB.
Hi, this is Lee Atkins of Home Care Plus in Ridgeland. We are a proud carrier of Abena Premium Incontinence products. Abena has the most absorbency available, making changes and leaks less likely. After 7 years as a seller, I can tell you these products are amazing and worth every penny to quality of life for patient and caregiver. And we ship all incontinence products as well. So please come see us at Home Care Plus in Ridgeland for all the incontinence needs of you or your family member. That's Home Care Plus in Ridgeland.
Antique Mall of the South has 14,000 square feet of pristine, clean floor space. Home to beautiful, timeless antique treasures. Antique Mall of the South is open Monday to Saturday, 10 to 5. Check them out online at antiquemallofthesouth.com or go to the Antique Mall of the South Facebook page. You can also read the dozens of 5-star reviews online. Come see for yourself at Antique Mall of the South in Ridgeland. Now open Monday to Saturday, 10 to 5. That's Antique Mall of the South, Highway 51 in Ridgeland.
Whether new construction or remodeling, Stephen Arrington and his team at Elite Custom Construction can design and build your dream kitchen and cabinets, inside and outside. Using high-quality products, Elite Custom Construction specializes in cabinetry and intricate millwork. Established in 2011, licensed and insured, Elite Custom Construction is your solution to your next project. Call Stephen at 601-927-0552 or visit them online at elitecustomconstruction.net.
Shopping for eyeglasses shouldn't be scary. Don't get tricked into spending your hard-earned money at those insurance shops only to be ghosted after the sale. I've heard the horror stories. Come to iGear Optical and treat yourself to quality eyewear, sweet pricing, and personable service after the sale. We fit eyeglasses to you, your lifestyle, and your budget. iGear Optical, 2630 Highway 80 East in Pearl. Follow us on Facebook and find us on the web at iGearOptical.com.
Where do you stand in the pro-life community? If you're passionate about protecting the sanctity of life from fertilization to natural death, please join us at Pro-Life Mississippi as we make a difference and save lives right here in our own state. Pro-Life Mississippi is a community of individuals dedicated to equipping others to value all human life, including the preborn, those with disabilities, and the elderly. Our mission is simple: to provide unwavering support, education, and advocacy for the preborn, their families, and other vulnerable children and adults. If you're just starting your pro-life journey or you have been an advocate of life for many years, Pro-Life Mississippi needs your voice and talents to save lives in Mississippi. Together, we can make a difference in building a stronger pro-life Mississippi. Learn more about us at prolifems.org. That's prolifems.org. Be part of the community that celebrates each and every human life.
Looking for adventure, amazing food, and a little relaxation all in one place? You'll find it at Cypress Point Resort in Brandon. Load up the family and experience a real drive-through safari, petting zoo, and thrilling guided Jeep tours. Then slow it down with mouth-watering steaks at the steakhouse, or grab drinks and live music at the tavern. Planning a wedding or reunion? Cypress Point Resort has beautiful venues and cozy lodging. Ready for your big day or just a weekend escape? It's everything you love about the outdoors with a touch of luxury. Cypress Point Resort. Wild fun right around the corner.
This ad is for all the guys who work hard and they expect their truck to do the same. At RPT Commercial, we have the accessories to help you on the job site. From names like Bedrock flatbeds, WeatherGuard toolboxes, Nap-High service bodies, ARE camper tops, deck storage solutions, and so much more. Stop by our new store on Highway 80 in Pearl and check with our expert staff and see what they can do to make the job just a little bit easier on you. At RPT Commercial, trucks live here.
Oh, yeah, you are listening to the Andrew Gosser Show right here on 103.9. Let's go to the phone lines. Go ahead.
Hello?
You're on the air. Go ahead. You're on the air.
Hey, Andrew, how are you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good.
Awesome. Well, thanks for having me on today.
Dude, this is awesome. Jacob, right?
Yep.
Everybody, this is Jacob Lawrence from Turning Point USA. We're having the big event tomorrow out at Ole Miss. And Jacob, why don't you go ahead and kind of fill us on? I mean, your life must have been such a whirlwind over the last month. What can you tell us about what's going to happen tomorrow, and how have you been, my friend?
Well, yeah, Andrew, it's been a very busy time, very successful promotion at Ole Miss for obviously the vice president, Erica Kirk, to be coming tomorrow. We're expecting a very large line of We're expecting a student-only packed venue tomorrow in the pavilion. Yeah, it's been super exciting. The energy on campus is electric. I'm on campus at Ole Miss right now. Yeah, the students are really fired up to hear from J.D. Vance and Erica Kirk tomorrow.
Awesome. Can you tell us a little bit about how Turning Point is doing Miss? And in Mississippi, we're down here in Clinton, and we're having a hard time getting a Turning Point chapter here. And there's been numerous stories around America about that. But how has it been working for Ole Miss, and what are we doing to expand Turning Point's influence in Mississippi?
Yeah, Andrew. So after Charlie's assassination on September 10th, we've seen a huge rise in involvement and excitement around the chapter here at Ole Miss. We've seen a growth of 10,000 Instagram followers, and now the club has gained 1,300 members, and now it's the largest club on Ole Miss's campus.
Oh, wow.
In the state of Mississippi, we've seen that also at Mississippi State, and we've seen a huge rise in high school chapters, and now we're really pushing for Clinton High School to get a Turning Point USA chapter as well.
That's awesome. I really appreciate that. And if there's anything that we can do down here to help with that, Jacob, we definitely want to support you, support what Turning Point's mission is, and just get the awareness out there. I know that this is a big event. We're going to get all hyped up seeing the vice president and Miss Erica, but what are Turning Point's plans after the event? What are we trying to get the groups and the chapters to actually do as far as involved in politics?
Yeah, so what we want to do is we want them to get involved with the civic politics on the local level. So we want them to buy in on their own local state politics, to stay informed, stay energetic, mobilize them. So after this event, our plans at Ole Miss is to continue educating students on the key issues like freedom, the Constitution, free markets. Why are we fighting so hard for these values? Yeah, we want to mobilize them. We mobilize them to reach out to their own networks of people, their own networks of community, and to mobilize them to really just get involved with us on campus, to educate other students, and that we can grow our network here.
Dude, I am all in for that, and anything that I can do to help Turning Point get younger people involved in local politics, I'm just all in because that is the future. Charlie saw that so long ago. He was wise in what he's built and what you and Erica and Turning Point team are taking on into the future. It is going to be awesome. Is there anything else you want to tell us about Turning Point USA or the event tomorrow? Brother Jacob, I know you were really busy and you gave me 7 minutes, and I want to honor that, but I want to make sure that you get everything out that you need to get out for this enormous event that's happening tomorrow up at Ole Miss.
Well, thank you, Andrew. Yeah, so it's going to be packed out. We're encouraging people to get there. If you get there, the line queuing starts at 11 a.m. The doors open at 3 p.m. The students will get priority on entrance. So no general admission will be let in until all the students have been let in.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, we're expecting a packed out student crowd. One thing we could ask for is patience and consideration when we're letting people in and we're queuing it all up. As we all know, with hosting the vice president and Erica, it's a large endeavor. So just if people attend, to be patient with us, be kind and considerate, and remember the Turning Point USA mission is to engage students and involve with students, so students will get priority on entrance. So yeah, we're expecting a big turnout tomorrow, and yeah, we're very excited for it.
Jacob, you do amazing work, man. I've known you for a while. We've had you in the studio, now we've got you on here, and when this all settles down and you get a moment to breathe, I just want to say you're more than welcome to come down here and spend the hour and let's talk Turning Point. And I would be remiss if I didn't say congratulations on your wedding, brother. That's awesome.
I appreciate it, Andrew. Thanks for having me. I'd love to do that.
Yep. And we'll see you tomorrow, my man. And thank you so much for the time. I know you're busy, but it's really important that our listeners understand just what an important and critical mission you and Turning Point do. So, brother, I appreciate it. Thank you. Be blessed, and we'll see you tomorrow.
All right. Sounds good. Thank you.
Yep. Bye-bye. Jacob is so awesome. You know, I've been letting him know. I would say, hey, get you on the radio. And he's like, I'll give you a quick few minutes. And he did. And I can't stress to all of you how important it is that even if you are not a student right now, if you are not between the ages of, let's say, 10 and 35, you can still be a part of Turning Point. You can still go do stuff. And the more people we get behind Turning Point and start moving this, the sooner and quicker Mississippi's going to turn, and the sooner and quicker America's going to turn. I can't stress to you enough. And talking to some people that have just come into my circle of influence as I've gotten this radio show, I know it's having a difference because people are now starting to really focus on the local stuff. And as long as we focus on that local stuff, the rest you will see it kind of change over time, and it'll bubble from the ground up, which is what you want. You know, in times of emergencies, in times of war, top-down leadership, absolutely got to have it. But anytime you can build leadership from the ground up, like Turning Point USA, like Charlie Kirk has, like Jacob Lawrence is, I can tell you that is the way for sustained and credible growth into the future. The United States will be unstoppable if we just build from the ground up, and we treasure the things that we're supposed to treasure, like our kids, men like our wives, ladies like our husbands. We do that, we're going to be rocking and rolling. Look, this segment was brought to you by my man Bruce Bennett over at iGear Optical. Bruce is a great patriot. He's a great guy, and he has the best eyeglass business in the greater Jackson area, whether that be Rankin, Hines, Copiah, Warren, Yazoo, Madison. I think I even said them all right. My grammar people let me know if I said Yazoo right. I think I did. Bruce has got it going on. If you are looking for a pair of glasses and you don't have the time to get it, go back 3 or 4 times for different fittings, and you want it just done right the first time, go see my man Bruce Bennett over at iGear Optical, located at 2630 Highway 80 in Pearl. Open from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. daily, Monday through Friday, and set 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. on Saturdays. Bruce, we really appreciate you supporting the channel. We know you appreciate Turning Point, and we're going to take a break right here. That was Jacob Lawrence from Turning Point USA. I hope you all are going to make it up there. And those of you who are going up there, I hope we get to come up and say hi to me. You'll know who I am. Love to meet you. You're listening to the Andrew Gosser Show on 103.9 WYAB. Oh, yeah. You are listening to the Andrew Gosser Show right here on 103.9 WYAB. We are moving and grooving. We had Jacob Lawrence on from Turning Point USA. Tomorrow is the big event up at Ole Miss. I hope to see people up there. And now I'm going to fry a lot of you. I'm going to frankly tick a lot of you off. And I'm going to say this. I'm going to explain it this way. When I was growing up, I never really was an animal guy. I could take care of animals, and I had cats, dogs, fish, birds, hamsters, whatever. But I wasn't an animal guy. And then I became a farmer. And look, I have no problems hunting and no problems putting down an animal, being humane. But the one thing that will absolutely, truly set me off is watching beings suffer, whether they be humans or animals. I don't want to see it. I think we can test things without it. Did we maybe once upon a time have to have that kind of stuff? Yes. But I saw this story and I'm like, you know what? This is something that um, I want to talk about. I've got this platform and I'm going to use it for it. Foreign labs still abusing dogs, primates, and other animals in NIH funded testing. NIH is the United States. NIH is the National Institutes of Health. These are the ones who are paying all the money to find out the mating habits of the Minnesota field mouse on crack cocaine, but can't figure out how the sequence of genomes work for someone who's got Parkinson's. It's just what it is. They will do all this DEI work. They will go look at, they'll unleash COVID. They'll unleash COVID. But they can't do the simple things. It's because we're not really in a healthcare business. We're in a sickness business. And as long as you've got to get that Parkinson's pill, as long as you've got to take this for your blood pressure, as long as you've got to take that for your low blood sugar or high blood sugar or whatever, they've got us locked in. This is coming, and I did put this on my X. This is coming from the Gateway Pundit and Miss Cassandra McDonald, not McDonald, Mac, M-A-C. Got to do that. Listen to this. Over 300 animal testing laboratories in 42 foreign countries have active approval to receive funding from the National Institutes of Health for tests on dogs, primates, cats, and other species, according to a new analysis by the watchdog White Coat Waste Base on government databases and records it obtained through the Freedom of Information Act. I get kind of emotional. We lost one of our livestock guardian dogs this year, Isaiah, way too young. And I've got 4 livestock guardian dogs. I've got roughly 50 sheep, upwards of 300 chickens and turkeys. And I'll tell you, we've got a rooster who lives in our backyard. His name is Blackjack. And he's like a member of the family, man. And he's not doing so hot right now. But the reason I'm sharing this with you is because it seems to me in today's political body, people get more upset over animal abuse than human trafficking. It's true. Just look at the Democrats in the southern border. Everybody will get all fired up when there's a video of a dog being abused. But when there's a human being abused, everybody picks up their cell phone and sits there and got to record it. Not maybe help the person, but record it for the clicks. Several of the animal testing facilities in China are eligible for NIH funding, are owned by a company called Pheromon, weird name again, which recently had a federal contract to test experiment drugs on 300 cute beagles each week. And it has cute in quotes. So I'm actually going to do something I wasn't planning to do, to click this link because I want to see. Oh, it's just going to the white coat thing. And they actually call it cute beagles. Man, I'll tell you what, the sweet bee wants a hound dog, whether it be a beagle or an actual hound. I really don't. I'd love another Great Pyrenees. But the point is that these are animals and creatures of God. And the type of experiments that we're putting on these animals, it's not good. It's cruel and it's inhumane. And you know what? I think that there will always have to be things we don't want to do. But what we are doing right now with this animal testing is outrageous. It's completely uncontrolled, and it's just fettering all over the place. And it doesn't have to be that way. NIH needs to be seriously looked at. National Institute or Institutes of Health, excuse me. Let's take this phone call here. Go ahead. You're on the air.
I don't think people understand what you mean when you say animal testing. What they did is they took the larynx out of some of these beagles and then trapped their heads in a cage and put flesh-eating worms and larvae in there to see just what would happen. It was for no reason. There was no medical reason, no anything. They just did it. But they took their larynxes out so they couldn't hear them whine. Whenever you say they're doing testing on animals, that's part of what they're doing.
It's sickening, dude. And that wasn't necessarily in the article that I was reading.
Oh no, this was from years ago. This was from back 3 or 4 years ago.
But Rick, this is why
yes, sir.
This is why it's so important. We got people like you listening to radio stations like WYAB so that we can refresh everybody's memory on how sick and I almost cussed, screwed up the NIH is with all this animal testing. And
I mean, it's devilish. I mean, it's just pure torture for no reason.
There's no, and the Fauci, bragged about this, how he had all those beagles being tested, and it's monstrous. Coming from a military background, I don't like torture. I don't like death. I don't like suffering. I don't want any of that. But what these guys are doing in NIH is just brutal, because it's not like, okay, we've got this cure for the wonderful cure for cancer. Not that they would ever release it, because then they lose quadrillions of dollars. But if they had it and they had to test it, I get that. But cutting out the larynxes, doing other weird experiments, it's just something that we don't need to be involved in my opinion. I'm sure that there are some scientists out there who want to call in and say, no, we need to do it, but I disagree. And I think your point is right on. Go ahead, brother.
Well, it's kind of like what you were talking about with the cures for cancer. There are so many things out there that could maybe not cure, but could help prolong life or just make life better for people. And every time somebody brings it up, they get silenced or they get censored or they get canceled. You can't. There's so much money being made out there between pharmaceuticals and the oil companies, petroleum companies, that they don't want anything getting better, because that would affect them, their wallet, and that's sick too. This whole world is sick, man.
It really is, and think about this. And I just want the listening audience to understand. And Rick, if you don't agree with me, I know you'll let me know, but I think you will agree with me when I say is the United States economy right now is completely propped up, not even by the deep state military industrial complex. It's in the open with the pharmaceutical companies making trillions of dollars. And you know what? I'm a capitalist. I believe in capitalism. The free market solution, while it's rough, it will always turn out better than a tyranny or despotism, like what we're precariously close to now. And
I understand that, and I agree with you, but the pendulum can only swing so far one way before it comes back. And when you're the world's reserve currency, and and these other countries are needing more money than we have to do their transactions, so we have to print it to prop them up. Well, it's going to come home to roost at some point. And your $5 McDonald's meal is going to be $50 before you know it.
Yep.
And then what we going to do?
People are already flipping out that they're $11. I mean, one of the best ways to get rich is just to quit eating out.
100%. And you'll get healthier.
You'll get healthier. Yeah, the food that we eat even makes us sick. It's ridiculous.
Yes,
it's ridiculous. What are you going up to the Turning Point event, brother?
I'm not, man. I'm like you. I got the farm to take care of. The animals won't feed themselves.
Nope. I understand, man. I understand. Rick, I am so grateful and thankful that you're out there listening and texting every day, dude. You're a friend. I'm sorry I didn't get to meet you the other day, but we'll have to
I'm sure it'll happen down the road.
Yeah, we'll make that happen, my friend. You got anything else before we go to the break?
Yes, sir. Have a good one. Keep it up.
Brother Rick, you take care. You are listening to the Andrew Gosser Show on 103.9 WYAB. We will be right back.
Keep it tuned here to 103.9 WYAB.
Grizz Nation, you know where to be for the next marquee NBA matchup. Come to FedEx Forum on Wednesday, November 5th at 7 p.m. when your Memphis Grizzlies host the Houston Rockets. Grab your tickets today at grizzlies.com/tickets or visit the FedEx Forum box office.
Hey, Rankin County, swing by the locally owned and award-winning 042 Wine and Spirits on Highway 80 next to Sonny's Barbecue in Brandon today. We've got one of the largest selections around with over 200 bourbons and whiskeys to ignite your taste buds, more than 50 vodkas, 50-plus tequilas, 30-plus rums, and ready-to-drink cocktails, as well as premium scotches. And get this, we've got over 400 wines in stock for the perfect pairing anytime. Discover your new favorites today at 042 Wine and Spirits right next to Sonny's Barbecue, Highway 80, Cross Gates, Brandon.
The mowing season is full on here in Mississippi.
Good morning, Brother Eric.
Print business cards, invitations, photos, and more. And with the holidays coming fast, let us print your Christmas cards. Many projects may be ready the same day, and the Mailroom Gluckstadt is still your place for shipping, drop-offs, and gift wrapping. Visit us at 272 Calhoun Station Parkway, across from Callaway's in Gluckstadt. MailroomGluckstadt.com.
I'm Sheriff Randy Tucker. I've worked alongside Judge Wise, and I know she brings fairness, common sense to Justice Court. She listens, she cares, and she serves our community with integrity and pride. Please join me in making the wise choice on November the 4th.
I'm Colleen Wise. I'll keep working hard every day to ensure everyone is treated with dignity and respect while upholding the law. I'd be honored to earn your vote for Justice Court Judge. Let's keep our court conservative and consistent. Vote Colleen Wise, November 4th.
Your roof is constantly exposed to the elements, battling dirt, algae, and stains. But with Watkins Construction and Roofing Roof Wash Service, you can keep it looking like new. A proprietary rooficide treatment is EPA approved, safe, and guaranteed to prevent algae from coming back for at least 2 years. No harsh chemicals, no damage, no black streaks. Just a clean, beautiful roof that lasts. Call Watkins Construction and Roofing at 601-966-8233 or visit nomoreroofstains.com today.
Bank Plus makes it easier to bank. With extended drive-through hours plus 24/7 online and mobile banking, we're here when you need us. Lost your debit card? Get a new one instantly at any Bank Plus location. No waiting for the mail. And interactive teller machines offer drive-up personal service 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Monday through Friday and 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Saturdays. Your bank, your plus. Learn more at bankplus.net. Member FDIC.
Oh, yeah. You are listening to the Andrew Gosser Show. The first hour always zips by, but it seems like every show that I do, the first hour goes faster and faster and faster. And I am really grateful for Rick calling in. I am really grateful and thankful that Jacob Lawrence from Turning Point USA was able to call in. I'm telling you what, the radio station is moving and grooving. We are growing in ways that are exponential. And you're going to see a lot of really neat things start kicking off here in about another week. And I'm not going to get into it. I'll let Matt and Clay and Kim and all the other people talk about it. But I see what's coming, and it is absolutely wonderful, absolutely wonderful. Musk launches new AI-powered Grokpedia to rival Wikipedia. You are going to see all sorts of negative news about Grokpedia, and I'm just going to explain you why here in the next minute and 30 seconds. Whenever you're developing a new technology, a new widget, and you're doing something that hasn't been done before, things are going to break. It's just not going to work the way you want it to work. You can look at it with SpaceX and how many rockets did they blow up before they finally got it right with Falcon 9. You know, it's one of those things where it takes time. And right now, unfortunately, with Grokpedia, they're having all sorts of launching problems with it. It's difficult, but they're getting there. There's a bias out there that everybody understands with Wikipedia, that it's very far to the left. You go and look at stuff, and it's just inherently things are wrong. Got to fix the camera here real quick. Things are wrong with Wikipedia. They're so biased. And look, I don't mind left-wing bias. It's why I don't mind the Mississippi Free Press or Mississippi Today. I know they're liberal. I know they're left. I know they're out to lunch, and I'm probably not going to agree with them, but I still want to understand what they're thinking. And what's really disappointing in all this is I can remember going through college back in the late 90s and early 2000s doing my master's and all that kind of stuff. And I can remember being told you cannot use Wikipedia as a source. Try telling that to a high school kid today. They'll look at you like you're crazy. Wikipedia is unfortunately the perfect example of everything that is right with the internet when Wikipedia first started, and it was actually really good information, and it was actually somewhat reliable. But over time, you can see humanity in its fallen ways twist and concoct Wikipedia into something that it should not be. You know, it shouldn't be that way. So just like everything else, Elon's going to try to build his way out of it. Maybe that's what Elon's got to get to. He's got to figure out that he can't fix the world, that he can't build the world. He got to lean on God a little bit. Ooh, that's a hot take. I'll send that off to my contact over at SpaceX. We'll see what happens. You are listening to the Andrew Gosser Show on 103.9 WYAB. We'll be back.
CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
I'm Steve Kathan. Hurricane Melissa takes aim at Jamaica, a powerful Category 5 storm. CBS News Philadelphia meteorologist Andrew Kozak tracking it.
We're talking 185-mile-per-hour winds, gusts to 215. And believe it or not, it's picked up speed. The movement north-northeast at 7 miles per hour, but that is still very, very slow.
The hurricane is blamed for at least 7 deaths in the Caribbean, 3 of them in Jamaica. CBS's Jason Allen is in the capital, Kingston.
When the really, really low-lying areas that flood regularly, not just when there is a hurricane. The government has said, well, let's say that they have affected the evacuation to have them go into the hundreds of shelters that are set up. But a lot of people are staying in their homes. They feel that they've made it through past storms. and they feel that they'll make it through this one.
There's been new U.S. military action targeting alleged drug boats, as we hear from CBS's Michael Wallace.
In a post on X, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth said the strikes in the eastern Pacific Ocean killed 14 suspected drug traffickers. A lone survivor was rescued by Mexican authorities. The U.S. military has now killed at least 57 alleged traffickers in the Pacific and the Caribbean in the last 2 months. Hegseth says narco-terrorists have killed more Americans than al-Qaeda, and they will be hunted and killed.
On day 28 of the government shutdown, delays are again a big factor at many airports, with more than 1,000 so far today. Cancellations piling up too. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy.
We have the best air traffic controllers, the best trained, the smartest people in our airspace controlling it. That kind of work, that kind of dedication, that kind of expertise deserves a paycheck.
President Trump in Tokyo met with the country's new prime minister and hailed a new trade deal. Back here in this country, his attorneys have asked a court to toss out his 2024 hush money conviction. Trump has called the case a witch hunt. Amazon said today it's going to cut 14,000 corporate-level jobs. CBS Money Watch correspondent Kelly O'Grady.
This is coming at the corporate level. And so this isn't Amazon isn't doing well or consumers aren't spending. This is them saying we've got a lot of areas in the corporate level that we think we can be more efficient on. And we're going to take some of those resources away. And then we're going to add some resources in an area that we think is going to be growth worthy.
Texas is suing the makers of Tylenol, claiming autism risks were hidden. President Trump claimed the use of acetaminophen by pregnant women is linked to autism without offering proof. Kenvue, one of the two companies sued, says there has been misinformation about the safety of acetaminophen. Checking Wall Street. Right now, the Dow is up 188 points. The S&P is up 5. This is CBS News.
Sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Take the next step forward in your career with great benefits and an award-winning workplace. Apply at careers.progressive.com.
This sandwich, it's a complete game changer. Hello, this is Mike, and a little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A Pretzel Cheddar Club is that juicy chicken with that toasty pretzel bun. That bun, it's crispy, cozy, just amazing. With the pretzel bun, the Dijon mustard, and the chicken, it makes that sweet, savory kind of combination. It's everything that you love about food rolled into one. It looks phenomenal. It tastes great. It's delicious.
Order the Pretzel Cheddar Club with cherry berry and Sprite for a limited time on the Chick-fil-A app. Real guests paid for their testimonial.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more.
Local news and weather brought to you by Mississippi Energy Services. We're your fast, affordable, and friendly generator service company. msenergy.us. msenergy.us.
A truck doesn't use the doorbell. The high is 75 today with a slight chance for showers. A cold front is coming into Mississippi tonight, bringing a 9 in 10 chance for showers and a low at 48. And by the time you wake up Wednesday, the air is expected to feel much cooler. The high is 60. You've got news on 103.9 WYAB. I'm Chris Davis. The visitor to a house on Cedars of Lebanon Monday was not a person, but the tail end of a red pickup truck. Jackson police say a woman who was driving a Kia lost control of it when someone pulled out in front of her, and she swerved into the yard, hit the truck, and it went up onto the porch and knocked the front door in. No one was seriously hurt. But a woman was hurt when police say someone shot into her car at the intersection of Spillway and Old Fannin Road Sunday night about 9. They are blaming that on road rage and say the suspect was a white guy with a salt and pepper beard driving a Toyota Tacoma, and they are looking for him. In Panola County, 47-year-old Michael Ford's body was found in the driveway of a house on Butler Road last week. Now deputies have announced the arrest of 24-year-old Michael Ford. Same last name, but authorities haven't said if the two are kin. You've been hearing a lot about SNAP benefits possibly not being distributed for November because of the government shutdown. That will affect 350,000 people in Mississippi. Some members of the U.S. Senate are trying to stop that from happening. They've come up with a bill to temporarily fund SNAP called the Keep SNAP Funded Act. Meanwhile, you can get a gallon of regular for $2.26 at a station in Richland. That's the cheapest in the Jackson Metro. The state average for gas is now $2.56 per gallon, says Gas Buddy. More news in 1 hour on 103.9 WYAB. I'm Chris Davis.
The views and opinions expressed in this program are the individual views and opinions of the people expressing them and do not necessarily reflect those of this radio station, its parent, affiliated, or related entities, agents, or employees.
Yes, you are. You are tuned into the Andrew Gosser Show right here on 103.9 WYAB. Today is the 28th of October, 2025. That means it's a Tuesday. That means tomorrow is Wednesday. It's going to be a great day on Wednesday. Look, if you want to be part of the program today, the number is 601-879-0002. And the text line is open at 601-879-5060. We are streaming on Rumble. We are streaming on X. We are streaming on YouTube. And we are streaming at WYAB.com. We love you to tune into the radio signal, but if you can't get it for whatever reason, we're streaming. It's there. And I know StreamYard is struggling today, but the truth of the matter is when it comes to the stream, I turn it on and then I forget about it. My main commitment is to the advertisers and the listeners of the radio station. That's always how we'll be. It's great that we have the stream so that we can reach other places, but we just think the heck out of our radio signal, and we're doing stuff to make it even better, which is going to be awesome. Look, our mission here at the Andrew Gosser Show is standard. We are here to equip the saints to help you go out into the world and be a beacon of light for others, whether that be spiritually, politically, financially, however it is that you want to work that. We can talk about that. But that's why we are here at this show. And every day we are planting seeds. Someone else is watering it, and those seeds are growing. And that's just how we're going to go. I told you in the first hour, we were going to talk about this new website that I found, Semaphore. It's interesting. It's intelligence for the new world economy. And they have an exclusive. Left-wing ideas have wrecked the Democrats' brand, new report warns. And this is by David Weigel, political reporter at Semaphore. And it's got a picture of Joe Biden waving to crowds with "We Love Joe" banner signs. It's pretty good. This is going to be more of a discussion and interaction because this is just so good. Democrats have badly weakened their party with left-leaning ideas and rhetoric, growing only with self-described white liberals while losing ground with other voters, according to a new center-left group report shared first with Semaphore. How many times have we come on this radio and said, look, this isn't for the far left crazies, but those who are center-left, center-right, and right, we are completely being vindicated at this show with just this first paragraph. The group called Welcome, which I have not investigated yet, but that sounds like something we'll do for Thursday or Friday, called Welcome consulted hundreds of thousands of voters over 6 months for its broad findings, including that 70% of voters think that the Democratic Party is out of touch. Now, you know what? I want to go right here. Call audible because we do have our favorite pollster, Mr. Harry Enton, and he came out with something today, and it's one of those things where, hey, this is a perfect juxtaposition between what we're reading and what they want you to believe. And we're just going to listen to like 15, 30 seconds of this just to prove a point.
Has Trump push for tariffs been successful in the minds of the American people?
No. No is the simple answer. I mean, I think that Americans have moved more against tariff than any other major Trump policy that he's been pushing during this second term. What are we talking about here? Well, why don't we just look at this? New tariffs on imported goods. You go back to November of 2024, the majority, 52%, were in favor of it. Look at where we are now in 2025, in the fall of 2025. 60% of Americans are opposed.
That's enough. It kind of shows you right there just how the mainstream media, in this case CNN and Harry Enton, want you to think that everybody is against Trump, is against the Republicans, but it's simply not true. The truth is that 70% of voters think that the Democrat Party is out of touch. I'll say it's 80-20 doom loop. Listen to this. Most voters, the group found, believe that the party over-prioritizes issues like protecting the rights of LGBTQ plus elemental P carried to the power of 2 divided by 10 Americans and fighting climate change while not caring about securing the border or lowering the crime rate. It's totally proving out what conservatives and those of us in the middle have been screaming for since the early 1990s. My political views really haven't changed that much. If I'm being candid, I really haven't changed that much. I've just become so much more educated in it that I can speak to it in different ways that help hopefully bring more people into what I believe, get more people agreeing with me. Welcome began as a PAC, or a political action committee, back in 2022, then founded a nonprofit with the same name for political research. It's saying here that they're going to go ahead and give copies of this report to all the Democrats who want it. The report urges party members to abandon some of the progressive language about race, abortion, and LGBTQ issues that Democrats began using after the 2012 election. And if you think about it, that's when this really all went to hell, is when President Obama put through all gay marriage. And we just went into that Sodom and Gomorrah pit, and we've been there ever since. The Democrat Party had better listen for the good of our nation, said former Illinois Representative Sherry Bustos. Oh, she was in Illinois 17. She was just a terrible representative. Ugh. Who ran the party's House campaign committee when it lost seats in 2020, wrote in her endorsement of the report. And this just continues to go on. And it talks about Zohran Mamdani. And it's absolutely incredible, because everything we want to happen with Zohran, with AOC, with Bernie Sanders, and you can throw in the squad and everything like that. This is exactly what we want. The report doesn't urge Democrats to move fully to the right, reserving vocal praise for several progressive stars in the party with a more direct appeal to economic opportunity and the lower cost of living. Listen to this. This is where it gets great. We have much to learn from the relentless focus of Bernie Sanders, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, and Zohran Mamdani. On those fronts, the authors write. The risk they see is the Democrats moving left on other progressive policies, which even some in the party establishment have done a while criticizing Mamdani and other Democratic socialists for. Look, and everybody is coming and praising Zohran Mamdani. Kathy Hochul, the New York governor, who is in just a world of hurt. Her state is going down the tubes. Her city, arguably America's city, is going down the tubes. Their economy is collapsing. People are leaving New York. It's just an unmitigated disaster. What does she think about Zoran Mandami?
This is about this November's election, but take that energy, that passion, and take it into 26 so that we can take back the House of Representatives, take the Senate, and take back our country. With your help, we will. Elect Zoran, and we take back America. Thank you, Queens. Thank you, New York. I love you guys.
There comes Zoran giving her a hug, holding up the hand. Very charismatic smile. Looks happy. I'm telling you what, when I look at something like that as a political body and I see that kind of energy, he's going to win. And what's it say? Like America or the Republicans, when we get on the stage, we just have like 50 American flags. It's like, oh, you only had 48 American flags. I had 50. What's wrong with you? You don't have enough flags. Is that what's on the Democrat stage? Nope. A big, back in the day when you would go to the grocery store and they'd have those paper, that big white paper, and they'd paint on it, 39 cents a pound for bananas, 18 cents a pound for grapes back in the day. They've got that same white paper there. And they've got this banner, universal child care, freeze the rent, making buses fast and free for all. Of course, you have to have the number 4, not the FOR, but for all, because we don't know what's going on there. The Democrat Party has completely embraced democratic socialism, aka communism, aka Marxism. I know that there are minor differences between the two, and we can have that debate if we really need to go into it. But the long story short is it's driving us towards a Marxist state, and we don't want it. We do not want it. The risk they see is that Democrats moving to the left on other progressive policies, which even some in the party establishment have done while criticizing Mandami and other Democratic socialists. From 2013 to 2024, between the beginning of the Barack Obama second term and the end of Joe Biden's sole term, the report offers clear metrics to show how the party has changed its language and gave support to left-wing bills that had little chance of passage. Honestly, this isn't necessarily a bad thing. When you're going in to write bills or try to get something done in government, you ask for way more than you need and you just trade it all off. Or if you get lucky and the other side is a moron, they give you everything that you asked for and you're like, oh, I wasn't expecting all this. What the heck am I going to do now? That happened to us. Long story, different show, but it was insane. Over 11 years, the share of congressional Democratic co-sponsored bill to study reparations for the descendants of slaves rose from 1% to 57%. Support for assault weapons ban grew from 41 to 88%. Support for giving federal prisoners full voting rights grew from 4 to 41%. And support for legislation that would wipe out abortion limits went from 2/3 of the Democratic caucus to 98%. Think about that. And support for legislation that would wipe out state abortion limits went from 2/3 to 98%. That's like Born Alive, third trimester, just all that kind of craziness. Democrats support. And the truth of the matter is everybody who's listening to my voice, the majority of y'all are center left to right. And you probably have some problems with abortion. I'm not saying there might be people who out there who are pro-abortion, and we will work on that. It's a time thing, and it's all right. But almost everybody agrees that it's abhorrent to murder a baby in the third trimester. And the truth of the matter is the Democrats are taking all of these wild, insane ideas that not only aren't popular, but don't work. And they're trying to mainstream it. And that's why we're having all the fights that we're having inside America right now. It's why we have all the unrest and protests. It's wicked And the left continues to push us down this path. And I got this from Chris Hinkle. Chris Hinkle fills in for me when I've got a doctor's appointment or something happens. I really appreciate Chris. But he sent me this tweet from Erica Knight @ Erica Knight, ERICAKNIGHT. A government that feeds you can starve you. That is how communism works. Now, the Americans who are dependent on food stamps are learning the hard way of what communism really is. A chicken for every pot, a loaf of bread for every person. I'm telling you, this article, I've got to take a break, but this article that I found here from Semator, there's so much more to it. I don't know if my algorithm in my search engine changed or whatever, but I'm getting a bunch of brand new websites that have a lot of ideas that I genuinely agree with, where it's not necessarily the main story of the day, but it's still absolutely critical for us to make decisions on. And the more websites I get like this, the more I'm going to put into there. I've got to talk about this one more, and then we'll go to the break. But we'll continue to walk through this. The defeat or retirement of some conservative Democrats explains some of the shift, but not all of it. The report study of National Democratic Party platforms from 2012 to 2014 found a surge in language about specific racial groups, up 828%. Do you not see how they are cutting us up and pitting us up against each other? White on black, black on white, married versus single, single mom versus single dad. Look, let me tell you something about political operatives. If there's a way to divide you up and split you all apart and getting you fighting, they're going to do that. About environmental justice. Yeah, we need environmental justice. We got rid of that, but that was up 333%. LGBTQ rights up 1,044%. So think about this. I want you to hear this. Specific racial groups up 828%. Environmental justice up 333%. LGBTQ rights up 1,044%. Okay, how about this? Mention of men. Mention of men. Down 63%. The mention of fathers. Down 100%. And responsibility. Down 83%. The Democratic Party is nothing more than a bunch of prepubescent, horny kids who are running around trying to figure out what the heck's going on. And they have no idea. They're just doing whatever feels right at the moment, and then they're going for it, and it's screwing the rest of us up. And the sooner we realize that, the sooner off we're going to be going down a road that's better for us all. You are listening to the Andrew Gosser Show on 103.9 WYAB. We will be right back.
103.9 WYAB.
Your roof is constantly exposed to the elements, battling dirt, algae, and stains. But with Watkins Construction and Roofing Roof Wash Service, you can keep it looking like new. A proprietary rooficide treatment is EPA approved, safe, and guaranteed to prevent algae from coming back for at least 2 years. No harsh chemicals, no damage, no black streaks. Just a clean, beautiful roof that lasts. Call Watkins Construction and Roofing at 601-966-8233 or visit nomoreroofstains.com today.
You can show your pride and patriotism in honor of the 250th birthday of this great nation by proudly flying a flag. And a complete flag source on I-55 in Jackson is the place to find it. All sizes for all purposes. And they have the official 250-year celebration flag. Have a look at CompleteFlags.com. That's CompleteFlags.com.
Whether new construction or remodeling, Stephen Arrington and his team at Elite Custom Construction can design and build your dream kitchen and cabinets, inside and outside. Using high-quality products, Elite Custom Construction specializes in cabinetry and intricate millwork. Established in 2011, licensed and insured, Elite Custom Construction is your solution to your next project. Call Stephen at 601-927-0552 or visit them online at elitecustomconstruction.net.
Shopping for eyeglasses shouldn't be scary. Don't get tricked into spending your hard-earned money at those insurance shops only to be ghosted after the sale. I've heard the horror stories. Come to iGear Optical and treat yourself to quality eyewear, sweet pricing, and personable service after the sale. We fit eyeglasses to you, your lifestyle, and your budget. iGear Optical, 2630 Highway 80 East in Pearl. Follow us on Facebook and find us on the web at iGearOptical.com.
Doctor, the AC doctor, what's your diagnosis? My whole house was hot as a fever. Now my house is frozen, 'cause my air conditioner's so. Doctor, my AC's broken. Doctor, the AC doctor, heal my house, bless my soul.
The AC Doctors is your one-stop provider for air conditioning and heating installation, service, and repair. Contact us for money-saving repairs and lower energy bills.
Doctor, the AC doctor, heal my house, bless my soul.
Google the AC Doctors and get some relief today. TheACDR.com.
Hi, this is Lee Atkins of Home Care Plus in Ridgeland. We are a proud carrier of Abena Premium Incontinence products. Abena has the most absorbency available, making changes and leaks less likely. After 7 years as a seller, I can tell you these products are amazing and worth every penny to quality of life for patient and caregiver. And we ship all incontinence products as well. So please come see us at Home Care Plus in Ridgeland for all the incontinence needs of you or your family member. That's Home Care Plus in Ridgeland.
Hey, this is Ben Ingram from the Braves Radio Network. We're in commercial right now, so I want to let my sister take over and tell you about Hometown Property Group.
Thanks, Ben. This is Mary Claire Putman with Hometown Property Group. Whether you're buying or selling, we are committed to guiding you through your real estate transaction with integrity, exceptional service, and remarkable results. Madison County has been my home for 40 years. I'd love to help make it yours too.
That's Hometown Property Group. Give them a call at 601-853-6080.
Oh, yeah. Welcome back to the Andrew Gosser Show right here on 103.9 WYAB. We are currently going through this article on semaphore. Democrats urge to jettison progressive rhetoric favored by highly educated and affluent. We're going through this. We've just pointed out where the Democrats have increased talking about racial groups, up 828%, increased language about environmental justice, increased by 333%, increased language about LGBTQ plus rights, up 1,044%. And during that same time, men, 83% down. Fathers, down 100%. Responsibility, 83%. They are, can you not? And then we were talking about for the past 2 weeks, all this feminism that is creeping in. Look, you're seeing it right here. It is being laid out in front of you for you to examine, acknowledge, and then go ahead and start making decisions on. They hate men. They hate fathers. They hate responsibility. You know, we got Brother Pat who calls in and talks about how in the black community, black single moms don't have any responsibility. They just pick up the check. I'm asking the black community, is it true that black men aren't appreciated as much as they used to be? Is it true that black fathers aren't appreciated as much as they used to be? How often do we talk about responsibility? I can only speak for my house in the circles I run in, and responsibility is a huge thing. I would say that you've heard on this radio station, the most important thing, the biggest title I've ever held was not captain, pilot, county supervisor, highway commissioner. No, it's dad, father, whatever name you want to put for that. There is nothing better in being in life than being a father. Unless you're a woman, then it would be being a mother. We don't want to cut that short. In 2020 and 2024, the party platform began with land acknowledgments for the Native American tribes that had previously inhabited their convention sites. You hear about this like in Minnesota and Illinois and Wisconsin. They talk about this. Those shifts didn't win votes. The report's analysis of voter data from Catalyst, a Democrat data firm, showed Democrats losing some ground with non-college educated white voters since 2012. Far more with more non-white voters, no matter their educational level, but far more. So they've lost non-white white non-educated voters, but they've lost even more with non-white voters, regardless of their education level. This is why they're busting in all of these illegal immigrants to vote for them, because their gig doesn't work. Their scheme doesn't work. It's risky, and it's going to crash the greatest nation ever to walk on the earth. Progressive language and policies meant to win for those non-white voters simply didn't work. Progressive language and policies meant to win elections with non-white voters simply didn't work. It's huge. And then the whole next portion talks about polls. And I have to admit, I'm somewhat guilty of this. I love reacting to polls. I love going through polls and dissecting them and hearing what you have to think about them and talking about what I think about them. There was a conference. I'm just picking this up in the middle of this paragraph. At the Persuasion 2025 conference, a one-day conference organized by Way to Win and Swayable last month, strategist Anat Shenker-Ozario argued that Democrats were beset by pollism, which told them that voters had static opinions and responded to messages they agreed with. Democrats did not need to move to the center or use more centrist language, she said. They need to reframe issues. One idea, instead of calling the GOP's tax reform package a big ugly bill, they might call it the MAGA murder law. What an interesting paragraph, huh? Does that not tell you everything you need to know about what the Democrats are thinking? The MAGA murder law. Big ugly bill. Reframe. Keep your ideas, just reframe them so that people can try to either A, understand them easier, or B, get so confused they don't care and just move on. The very fact that somehow this came out and was put into general public is exciting. Because if you go through and read this, you can go watch all the CNN, MSNBC, MS Now, /BS Always. You will not be deflated. Because the truth of the matter is people don't want what the Democrats are pushing. You are even having a breakup of the LGBTQ community. The LGBT or the LGB is leaving the everything else because it's just so weird and goofy. Culturally conservative voters are also correct that Democrats have moved left over the last several elections. The best way for that bloc to not be distracted by right-leaning coverage of reparations of a reparations bill might be to do fewer Democrats to endorse a reparations bill. So that's going to see that, and this is where the Democrats are in a catch-22. Just stand up here for a second. They're in a catch-22. You have the ultra hard left, that 25%, we'll just call it 20, who are like, yes, reparations now, charge full all the way through. And their own team is saying, this isn't a good idea. They are completely twisted in knots that they tied themselves. They put it into a box that they built themselves. And now they are struggling. This is such a great article. I've put it out on my X account. I hope y'all take some time to read it. It's one of those where it's probably a 15-minute read, to be truthful. It's a big article. But in the same time, it will fill you up with so much data and so much knowledge so that when you get in front of one of these yahoos, you can just simply debate them. And again, you don't have to be argumentative or combative. That's not my style. I can sit there and tell you you're wrong without necessarily raising my voice or getting all angry. But we all need to be able to do that. We all need to be able to grow the political pie, as it were, or dare I say, grow the kingdom. You are listening to the Andrew Gosser Show on 103.9 WYAB. We will be right back.
Tuned here to 103.9 WYAB.
For over 15 years, A1 Gear and Auto has been your hometown specialist for your auto repair and maintenance needs. From brake repair to placement to radiators, engines, starters, alternators, heat, and AC water pumps, and more, A1 will get your vehicle back up and running and on the road and in a timely manner. A1 is one of the only shops in the metro that specializes in rear differentials, rear ends, and rings and pinions. Call today to set up an appointment, or if you got questions, at 601-939-1060. A1 Gear and Auto, your hometown vehicle specialist.
Nick Bain served Mississippi for over a decade in the State House. During that time, he fought for our children by protecting them against explicit materials pushed by the woke agenda. He protected taxpayers by streamlining government and helped create policies that have made Mississippi better. Nick and his team at Bain Bowen will use the same tenacity in helping you with all your legal matters. Call them today at 601-953-2994. Find Nick online at bainbowen.com. That's BAIN Bowen.com.
CBS News Brief. Category 5 Hurricane Melissa is churning toward Jamaica.
Winds now 185 miles per hour. Overnight, it was sitting at 175. We have gusts way over 200 miles per hour.
CBS Philadelphia meteorologist Andrew Kozak. At least 7 deaths in the Caribbean, including 3 in Jamaica, are blamed on the big storm. U.S. military says it hit 4 alleged drug boats in the Pacific, killing 14 people, leaving 1 survivor. CBS's Charlie D'Agata.
Secretary Hegseth said that this is going to be a daily occurrence. We have to point out where these strikes took place. He said 3 strikes, 4 vessels. 2 of them were hit with 1 strike.
Amazon said today it will cut about 14,000 corporate jobs as the company wraps up spending on artificial intelligence. Day 28 of the federal government shutdown, people at airports feeling it again with more than 1,000 flight delays. Air traffic controllers are working without pay. CBS News Brief, I'm Steve.
Business owners, tired of drowning in payroll, compliance, and back office headaches? ePolice has your back. ePolice can free you from the never-ending grind of employee administration, such as time and attendance, onboarding, background checks, even business insurance. While you focus on growing your business, ePolice handles the paperwork. Stop stressing and start succeeding. Partner with ePolice, locally based in Ridgeland. Visit ePolice.com and get back to business.
Looking for the ultimate reset for your body and skin? At Core Wellness and Recovery, you'll find next-level services like cryotherapy, red light therapy, infrared sauna, body sculpting, and advanced facials. Whether you want to boost performance, recover faster, or just feel your best, Core Wellness and Recovery delivers real results with 0 downtime. From muscle relief to radiant skin, this is self-care redefined. Come experience the future of wellness, Core Wellness and Recovery, just off Highland Colony in Ridgeland. Book now at corewellnessandrecovery.com.
This copy machine has me so frustrated. I could just body slam it.
Whoa there, leave the body slamming to the pros and leave superior high-quality office tech to the experts at Advantage Business Systems, brother.
Woo! Get it!
Never body slam your copy. Visit ABS. laying the smackdown on bad tech.
Looking for the perfect spot to unwind with friends and family? El Patrillo Mexican Restaurant is calling your name. With locations in Flowood and Cross Gates, Brandon, El Patrillo is the cozy, family-owned gym where great food meets great times. Enjoy El Patrillo's signature margaritas and happy hour specials that keep their customers coming back for more. Indulge in their authentic Mexican dishes prepared with love and served in a warm, family-friendly atmosphere. Come to El Patrillo and taste the traditions. El Patrillo, where family, flavor, and fun come together.
Welcome back to the Andrew Gosser Show right here on 103.9 WYAB. This segment is brought to you by Elite Custom Construction. My man Stephen Arrington over there in Pearl. Look, when we're going to rebuild a kitchen or build a deck, it's an expensive proposition, and you want to make sure you get the right person in there who's going to do the job the way you want it done right the first time. And that's what Stephen Arrington and Elite Custom Construction do. You've heard me talk about the highest grade materials, the custom woodworking and millworking. It's all put in there. And Stephen would love to help you out, whether you're planning to redo a kitchen. Perhaps you're going to build an entertainment wall in your living room, or you want to build an outdoor kitchen on a deck. Stephen Arrington is the guy to call. His phone number is 601-927-0552. You can find him online at elitecustomconstruction.net and let him know that Andrew Gosser and WYAB sent you. We'd really appreciate it. Stephen, we really appreciate you supporting the show. We appreciate it and look forward to seeing you on Sunday, my friend. You know, before we get back into this story about how the Democrats are completely dismantling themselves, and it's glorious to watch. During the news upbreak, it talked about AI getting rid of 14,000 executives at Amazon because of AI. Well, if each one of those executives made 150,000 a year, that would mean that through the investment of AI, they are saving $2.1 billion a year just in salary. That doesn't include 401ks, insurance, whatever else you got going on there. Tell me that AI isn't going to completely upend the market, but I digress. I digress on that. There is a shift, getting back to this article, that's happening somewhat inside the Democrat Party. A shift may be happening inside a party that aligns itself with what Welcome's report is looking for. Sanders, the senator, told podcaster Tim Dillon, a conservative favorite, in an appearance last week that we should have a secure border and that Trump did a better job of protecting it than the previous presidents. Can Kathy Hochul do that in New York? Can Governor Newsom do that in California? Or plug in your favorite liberal Democrat politician? The truth is that Americans want a strong border, and they want somebody who can not only just talk about it in a flowery language. They don't want that. They want results, which is why Trump is so appreciated. Do you ever notice how the Democrats, they truly are. They're well-spoken, the politicians. They sit there and they have all these sound bites and slogans, but no solutions. And every once in a while, we have Jasmine Crockett get on and just go off on one of her tirades, but we're not privy to that all the time, unfortunately. That was how Sanders talked for much of his career before the Democratic Party's leftward move, when he embraced an immigration plan that would have decriminalized illegal border crossings. He seems to have moved back to where he was on Trump's signature issue. The bottom line is this, and it comes together in this one paragraph. In a book called The Argument, Lakeisha Jane looks at the national favorable ratings of the highest profile progressive Democrats, from Gavin Newsom to Zohran Mamdani. All of them are underwater. Everyone knows that what works in New York City doesn't necessarily work nationally. And that's where we have to be smart as conservatives. If They are going to run nationally on issues like the border, like on this budget problem that we have. They are just going to continue to crash. They are going to continue to burn. And again, we can't worry about what's happening in Washington State or Minnesota. We can talk about it, and we should. But as far as like actually trying to implement change in Chicago, Illinois, there's not too many people in Mississippi who could do that. There are a couple billionaires who could roll in there and maybe do some damage in Chicago. It might happen, might not. But that's why we need to get together locally and worry about local things. Let me put this by y'all. If we had one county in Mississippi that just started exposing all of this porn in the school libraries, it would change all of Mississippi. You only need one, because as soon as it comes out in one, everybody else is going to be like, what the heck? And there's going to be pressure, and it's going to cure itself. And that's kind of what's happening with the Democrat Party. On his Substack, progressive strategist Walid Sharid argues that Democrats have already tried taking moderate stances, setting them apart from the left, and not gotten much for it. Don't scare the middle works until the middle itself is being remade. So what the Democrats are basically saying here is that you're either all coming to the left, hard left, or you just don't matter. Don't scare the middle. It's one of those things where I've never, as a conservative, felt scared that I've scared the middle. I've had people talk about me that made them afraid of me. And then when you go into a conversation or a debate and you start talking, they're like, wait, this guy really isn't the devil. This guy's really does have good ideas. And it's not just about me. I'm using myself as an example because it's real, but this is something that you could do or that conservatives can do. And it's exactly what the Democrats don't want you to do. They want to break up Thanksgiving. They don't want you going to your parents' house on Christmas or Easter. Well, they don't give a darn about Easter to begin with. They don't want anything to do with that. Christmas is now the winter solstice and the other holiday, whatever. They just don't want our conservative values being represented. And any way they can get rid of it, they're going to. And we just have to fight that. And it's good to see that there are news sources out there like Semaphore that really provide some new type of analysis on what's happening inside the Democrat Party. And it is glorious to watch. It's great to see what happens to the Democrat Party. And we're just not along for the ride at this point. And we have our examples here locally, whether that be Jackson or somewhere else. We have specific examples of where liberalism and Democrat power left unchecked completely turns a place into garbage. Not even debatable. We are going to take our last break of the hour. I know it's a little bit early, but when we get back, I got to talk about this awesome thing that I got over the weekend, and I want to give it time. And of course, it's got to do with chickens, because chickens. You're listening to the Andrew Gosser Show on 103.9 WYAB. We will be right back.
.1039 WYAB.
There's never been a better time to buy a new construction home in the city of Brandon at Hyde Park. Take advantage of builder incentives, including seller pay closing costs or rate buydowns that help you lower your payment by hundreds. Prices start at $299,000 at Hyde Park. These beautiful homes offer LVP flooring, gas fireplace, and 2-car garages, all backed by a wonderful builder's warranty. Hey, I'm Brad Burleson with UList Realty, and I'd love to show you around Hyde Park anytime. Give us a look at our website, ulistms.com, or simply Google Hyde Park Brandon.
I'm speaking with Lee Bounds of Rapid Rate Mortgage. How does real estate agent Rita Jensen succeed when time is of the essence?
In today's market, it is so important to communicate and close on time. Typically have 30 days to close, get a home inspection, appraisal, title work, that kind of thing is a mortgage process. And a realtor relationship is so important. With a realtor like Rita Jensen with Remax Connection, she helps us to close on time.
RitaJensen.net.
I like my insurance like I like my burrito, with everything rolled into one. Was in a state of craving amigo, till my agent showed me how it's done. He wrapped up my auto, my home, and my life. The discounts I'm getting are great. Everything good right there on one plate. Get to a better state, State Farm.
To keep more of your money in your pocket, call John Dorsa at 978-2302. Here's a word from John White, the owner of Two Gun Tactical in Flowood and Ridgeland.
I carry a gun every day, all the time. Last year in America, 2 million legal guns were pulled and it stopped the threat. So I'm really wearing a firearm just to stop the threat. There's more likelihood of me just pulling it and not using it than there is using it. TwoGunTactical.com, TwoGunTactical.com.
Two Gun Tactical, the South's only country club.
Social Security belongs to you. You work hard and pay into it. So it's only fair for you to expect to get the money you've earned to help cover living expenses and bills, and not for politicians to use as a piggy bank. That's why AARP is fighting to protect your Social Security so you get what you've earned. Learn more at aarp.org/youearnedit. That's aarp.org/youearnedit. Paid for by AARP.
Rotor's Plumbing and Pearl, your familiar plumber with these similar names. Locally owned and operated by Chris Rotor, Rotor's Plumbing is no franchise, simply lower prices and better service without the dreaded overpriced upsell. Rotor's is one of the few places you'll find that actually specialize in tankless water heater repair, as well as being your full-service plumber. And most importantly, service after the sale, meaning the techs actually answer your call, with misses averaging callbacks of 10 minutes or less. Rotor's Plumbing at roedersplumbing.com.
All Britain's Jewelers. When love requires a gift, nothing says it better than All Britain's. Since 1920, we've been part of your family. From weddings and anniversaries to holidays, we've been there for every special occasion. At All Britain's, we value your trust. Every gift, whether large or small, is a reflection of our commitment to quality and excellence. There's a reason we're still Mississippi's foremost diamond merchant. Let us show you why. All Britain's Jewelry, 4460 Old Canton Road in Jackson.
All Britain's Jewelers.
B-dubs cocktails, pretzel knots, and mozzarella sticks. It's all on me today.
Oh, so you're happy hour rich when the happy hour menu is only $3 to $6 from 3 to 6 p.m.
$3 to $6? That's crazy.
You know we're at happy hour right now from 3 to 6 p.m.
It's happy hour crazy.
We were here yesterday too.
Crazy.
Quit playing. I'm gonna let you pay though.
Food, beer, and cocktails for $3 to $6 from 3 to 6 p.m. Buffalo Wild Wings for the greatest of all times. Monday through Friday only. Beer deals available all day at participating locations. Taxes and fees apply. Dine in only. Drink responsibly. Offers vary by location. Void where prohibited.
Oh, yeah. We are back at the Andrew Gosser Show right here on 103.9 WYAB. 2 hours gone just like that. Eric coming in with a couple of quotes as messages as we're getting ready to go off the air. He says, the scariest part about this is you have solid proof that these Democratic liberals ran cities have completely collapsed, and yet you still won't, or you still want people to use it as a blueprint for their cities. Yes. It's like they're choosing failure, knowing it will fail. Yes. It's what liberalism leads to. I'm not sitting there even like making this a personality issue, because we all know that we have people on opposite sides of the aisle that we don't get, or on the same side of the aisle. Our personalities just conflict. It doesn't work, but that's what they're up to. And the bottom line is this will continue to happen as long as the people continue to be asleep. As long as you can continue to give them their SSRIs and their EBT SNAP benefit. But once that breaks and reality and responsibility click in, ooh, It'll be on then. You know, one of the most important things about your friend groups or any group that you're in, whether it be a friend group, a work group, a church group, it's fellowship. It's hanging out with people of the same value set and just hanging out and being friends. It's fellowship, eating a meal together, having a great time together. And where we've gone to church, the vicars have been there as long as we have. And Miss Naomi, I'm showing this to the webcam now, made me a chicken. And we've got to name the chicken. So I'm asking for names for this chicken. This is a cream leg bar hen. Bright blue eggs. It's crocheted. It's beautiful. I got her here. I need to figure out a name for her. But Miss Naomi, that's really sweet. And she's going to watch the show. We might make her the mascot. I'm not sure exactly what we're going to do with her yet. But I do know we're going to need a name. And I'm really grateful for that. I wanted to actually take the last little bit of time on the segment to talk about that. You know, on this program, we talk about animals and we talk about fellowship and we talk about growing your own food. This is just something that sprung out of it. And I don't know, Naomi, I think you need an Etsy store or something like that. This one says she's kind of lonely. But Naomi, seriously, in all seriousness, thank you for the wonderful gift. I do appreciate it. And I wanted to bring that up. All right, last story of the day. Coming from the Magnolia Tribune, local. And I could have spent, a whole nother couple power segments on this. But Mr. Delbert Hoseman says Senate will support public-to-public school transfers. Signals opposition to broader proposals supported by President Trump. Yep. It's what's happening. So I've read this story, and I am for school choice. But what this is somewhat saying is that public schools, it's just point to point. So if someone from Jackson wants to send their kid to Northwest Rankin is going to absolutely have to take them, whether they have the room or not, which is kind of scary to me. It's almost like I genuinely believe Delbert doesn't want healthcare choice, but he has to figure out how to put the poison pill in it to kill it. And I know I might be saying something a little bit outrageous there, but it's just my opinion and how I feel about it. I want the ability of you, the mother, and you fathers out there too. We know Democrats don't care about fathers, but Republicans do. And it's important that fathers and mothers are able to send their kids to school where they want to go. But at the same time, you can't crash out another school district just because the one you're living in stinks. There's got to be some mechanism in place. And, that's something that can be talked about. We can hash that out over the course of time. Doesn't have to be figured out today. But it is nice to see the fact that, we have a Speaker of the State House, Jason White, who said, look, we're going to make this a real issue. We tried to get some things passed in 2025. The Senate killed it all. So we're going to make it the top issue in 2026 for the Mississippi State House. And it's going to be the issue. How it's going to turn out, that's still anybody's guess. But whatever happens, I do hope that, number one, once we get this school choice thing figured out, we figure out how to test our kids on the U.S. Constitution and U.S. history. We got to get that back. We've got to get economics and civics back into our classrooms. And dare I say, farming and gardening and growing crops. EBT might be shutting down, but you'd be a lot better off if you had a summer garden and you had a few chickens. We'll be back in about 22 hours. Take care, everybody. Be blessed. You've been listening to The Andrew Gosser Show.